Okay, everyone, now we'll have some fun. It's time for the third installment in the King's Quest series. This game is, in my opinion, this game marks the beginning of an upturn in the series. This is where things start to get a little bit better. Don't get me wrong, I like the first two games. I think they are good games. I do like them. But I think that this is where the series really starts to take on... it becomes more than just walking around and picking up items. The first couple of games were mostly you just walk around, you interact with the environment, and there's nothing wrong with that. In fact, I think that's kind of more what games should be. I think games today focus a little bit too much on the story. There's a little bit too much storytelling and not enough of actually doing things in a lot of games today. But these games sort of hit a sweet spot. They had just enough story to make it feel like you had some sort of purpose and some sort of plot development and change of events going on, but not so much that it became less of a game and more of just like a semi-interactive movie. Let's go ahead and get started, shall we? PR number 5. Yeah, Protoss. Gwyddion is a lonely lad of 17 who has lived for as long as he can remember with an evil and cruel wizard by the name of Menanan. Gwyddion gazes upon the countryside of Ludor with longing, wishing he were free to leave. But alas, such is not the case. I believe that means he's a lad of 17 years and not 17 inches. Menanan treats the poor boy like his slave, ordering him about, constantly threatening him, and refusing to ever let him leave the premises. Often Gwyddion wonders who he really is, and how he came to something which I didn't read. Suddenly, the front door opens and out stalks Menanan the wizard. "Gwyddion!" he shouts harshly. Uh-oh. Gwyddion rushes to his side, afraid he may be in trouble. "Why are you not working, boy?" the wizard sneers. Gwyddion mumbles a faint reply. "The kitchen floor is filthy," Menanan grumbles. "Go sweep it now!" Turning on his heel, the wizard re-enters the house, slamming the door behind him. Such is the story of young Gwyddion's life to this point. What's a poor boy to do? Oh well. In resignation, Gwyddion obediently follows Menanan into the house. And that's it. I have to say, I don't know how evil a wizard Menanan can be because he made the game's credits appear. I mean, what kind of evil wizard gives credit to the designers of the game? That seems like a singularly un-evil thing to do. Okay, let's look around. This is the main entry room of the wizard's house. The front door is to the south. Creaky stairs go upstairs. And doorways lead north and east. Okay, what's this picture on the wall? It's just as it appears. Look at painting. Okay. Candles. There are 2 candles attached to the wall to light your way up the dim staircase. I can kind of see that. I was hoping for maybe a slightly... Well, what can I say? I mean, I guess there's nothing more to the candles than meets the eye. So, this is King's Quest 3. This game is considerably more in-depth. I would say there's a lot more to this game than the first 2 games. So, when you start the game, you are this guy. This is Gwyddion. And he is very emo, as you can tell by his haircut. He has a very emo haircut. And I don't know, I never understood why his eyes form just a line. They should have put a gap between his eyes to make it look like he has 2 eyes, because as it is, it looks like he's wearing one of those weird visors, like, kind of like, I don't know, what comes to my mind is LeVar Burton's character from Star Trek The Next Generation, but it's kind of like that. It's one of those visors that just sort of covers the eyes for no apparent reason whatsoever. So let's get started. The game is on a timer, as you can see. At the top there's a timer counting up. So we do have some amount of time pressure facing us. So let's take a look around and not dally too much for a while. This is where Menanin eats his meals. You, of course, are not supposed to eat here. You eat in the kitchen. There's a pine table and benches large enough to seat at least 10 people, but the wizard has never had any guests for dinner. I guess he's just too cool to have friends. So, on the table, there is a... there's a little metal cup on the table. Let's go ahead and get the cup. All right. 1 point. Points. Ka-ching. So, if you look in your inventory for this game, one unique thing about this game, which I don't think exists in any other Sierra adventure that I've seen, is some of these items will have an asterisk next to them. The significance of that will become clear later, but for now, well, basically, I'll tell you that if an item has an asterisk next to it, that means that Menanin will kill you if you're carrying it. Somehow Menanin has the magical ability, well, I guess he's a wizard, so I guess he can do that. He has the ability to see what you're carrying, what you have in your inventory, and if you have something which he believes is forbidden to you, then he'll kill you on sight if he sees you carrying that item. So the empty cup is fine, it's just an empty cup, and you're his kitchen boy, so you're supposed to be doing tasks for his preparing his meals and things like that. So it's not suspicious or anything like that to carry this cup around. But there are some things that you can get in the game which will have a star next to them. And if you see that star or that asterisk, that means that you must not let Menanin catch you with them, or again, you'll die. There is also a cat here. The cat is of some considerable significance. That detestable pet of Menanin's is a constant annoyance. I have to say, I really get a very strong feeling that Roberta Williams, the woman who wrote the King's Quest games, I get a very strong feeling that she is a dog person and one of those people who does not like cats. It's very apparent from pretty much everything that involves cats or dogs in her games. So yeah, the game's treatment of this cat is rather cruel, in my opinion. But we'll see more about that later. Anyway, for now, let's go up here. This is the kitchen. Let's take a look around here. Yes, this is the kitchen of the wizard's house. Other than your own bedchamber, this is the only place in the house that you feel you can call your own. The wizard rarely enters the kitchen. On cold days, the fireplace is a cozy place to sit. Okay, can we sit in the fireplace? How can you do that? I don't know. It's a good question. How do you sit down? It's a pretty complicated matter. Maybe it needs some special training. Okay, let's go ahead and look around. So there are some items we can get from here. On the table, use the kitchen to prepare food. Right now there is a loaf of bread, some fruit, and a mutton chop. All right, let's get all three of them. Let's get the loaf of bread, let's get the fruit, and let's get the mutton chop. All right, so far so good. There's some other stuff. Back here, if you look on the wall, there's an iron rack, with your trusty knife hanging on it, and your serving spoon. Unfortunately, we cannot stab Menanin with the knife, even though it seems like it might be suitable for that. No, you can't do that. And also here on the shelf, I think there's one other thing. It holds many things, as this says, but one useful item that catches your eye is a clay bowl used for all of your mixing. Of course, when an adventure game specifically mentions an item like that, it makes it very clear that you're supposed to take that item. So there you go, we got the clay bowl. Let's go ahead and save here. I know I made a whole lot of progress. I've walked through all of 3 rooms and taken a few very obvious inventory items, but I'm going to be saving a lot, as I usually do, because, like I said, we are under time pressures, and if I look around, I don't want to waste too much time looking around. So let's see, what if we look in these barrels? The barrels only contain foodstuffs. They are too huge to move. What if we say move the barrels anyway? How can you do that? All right, can we eat the food? Okay, I guess it's not very good food. Is that a butter churn? Looking at the butter churn makes your muscles ache as you remember the long hours churning cream to make butter. Otherwise, you have no interest in it. I don't know, those women who performed at the Polish entry in the Eurovision contest this year seemed to like churning butter. And there is a broom back there, which I'm going to ignore for now. Uh-oh. Gwyddion, you were assigned a chore. You know what happens to lazy boys. Menanin shakes his head in disgust. The kitchen is still dirty. When will you learn to obey? Up goes the dreaded finger. Uh-oh. Perhaps you'd like a closer view of the ground, Gwyddion, says Menanin. Suddenly you feel squishy and slimy with an awful weight on your back. Your tentacled eyes swivel around to see your shell. Oh no, he's turned you into a snail. And we are indeed a snail. And we can actually move around using the standard game's movement controls. I'm using the arrow keys to move around. You can see we actually are moving. We're just doing so very slowly because we are, well, a snail. So, if you don't do the tasks that Manannan gives you, then he will punish you in these ways. As far as I know, there's no real disadvantage to being punished this way. I mean, it's a minor annoyance. He'll turn you into a snail, or there are other things too. He'll hang you from the ceiling or make you do exercises or things like that. But I don't think there's anything really... I don't think there's anything really permanent that that this does. I think maybe if you disobey the wizard too many times, if you refuse to do his tasks one too many times, eventually he might kill you. But I've never actually had that happen because, and the punishment only lasts for about a minute or so, and then it wears off. So there's really, you don't actually get any points for doing the things that Manannan tells you to do, and you don't lose points for not doing them or getting punished in that way. So I don't think there's any real concrete reason to not do them. But just to be on the safe side, I'm going to go ahead and play it safe here by doing what Manannan told us to do. I'm going to get the broom, and this causes Gwyddion to sweep the kitchen, just as he's doing now. Actually, it looks kind of like he's dancing. He's also not doing a very thorough job, because I think really to properly sweep a floor, you have to do it systematically and kind of do it going from one side to the other. I don't think you can just waggle the broom around like this in random places on the floor. I think that just kind of moves the dust or whatever around. I don't think that actually causes the floor to become much cleaner, but okay. Also, yeah, there are many herbs and spices hanging here, but you have no use for these particular herbs and spices. I believe this yellow thing is a mushroom. It looks kind of like a sombrero to me, but I think it's supposed to be a mushroom, and then these little green things hanging on the side of it are spices that are kind of in the... They may look a little bit unrealistically large because I think they're supposed to be in the foreground, although actually it looks like they're hanging from the back of the rafters there, so maybe... I don't know. The thing is, if these are hanging in the back of the room, then that's one huge mushroom. I thought this was kind of a perspective thing that makes the mushroom look so big because it's close to the camera, so to speak. But actually, it looks like they're hanging from the back of the room, in which case that is like the mother of all mushrooms. I don't know. Let's go and take a look at this bucket. It's just your old oaken bucket, and if you look out the window, you can see most of the countryside of Ludor from this vantage point. All right. Well, now Manannan won't punish us for disobeying him, so let's take a look around. There's not a lot to this house. Back through this door up here is Manannan's study, which I don't think we're supposed to enter unless he's told us to. He sometimes gives you a task to Oh, there we go, there he is now. You feel Manannan's cold gaze is quite unnerving. So basically, you can pretty much go anywhere in the house. You just have to be careful to not get caught in places where you're not supposed to be. So, like, he doesn't kill us if you enter this room. In fact, I think sometimes you're supposed to enter out the waste paper basket or something like that. If you look in the basket, don't you remember you emptied it yesterday? If I say empty basket, I don't know. I think there's some tasks that we're supposed to do here sometimes as well, but I forget what it is now. Oh, really? Hold on. Look at... What's this thing on the wall? I thought it was a map. What? Really? Okay, never mind. Alright, forget it. We'll have more business here later, but let's... Uh-oh. Gwyddion, I have decided to take a journey. Okay, that's great news. When the wizard says he's decided to take a journey, that means that he'll be gone for about 20 minutes, 20 to 30 minutes. So... let's go ahead and spring into action. What we need to do, our first task in this game, is to get rid of Manannan. Now, somebody asked me in a comment in, I think, at the end of King's Quest II, with reference to this game, King's Quest III, do I think that I'll be able to get rid of Manannan on his first journey? Yes, I do. It definitely is possible, and that's usually what I do when I play this game. It's just the problem is I'm going to be a little bit slower now because I'm going to be talking so much, so I'm going to be going very quickly. I apologize if I go a little too fast, but I'm trying to make good time because we have about 20 minutes to get rid of Manannan, so... In the vanity drawer are many uninteresting items, although the wizard's hand mirror may come in handy. You grab it, then close the drawer. Let's take a quick look around this room, actually. This is Banana's elegant bedchamber. You see fine furnishings from a regal bed to a beautifully carved closet. You can't help but compare this handsome room to your own meager cubicle. Alright, so, the mirror. Aha! This is our first item with a star on it. We will get killed if Mananan catches us with this mirror. So, even though I don't know why, it's just a regular hand mirror, but maybe, I don't know, maybe Mananan uses it for railing lines of cocaine, and so he gets very embarrassed if we... I don't know. I have no idea. Let's see. Let's open this dresser here. Quietly opening the door below the closet, you discover nothing that interests you. Okay, can I open closet? Alright, let's see. Voluminous velvet robes, satin slippers, peaked hats, and soft linen gowns. Ah, but what if you look behind the clothes? Aha! You're startled to discover an ancient parchment scroll. Its ink has faded, but it seems to be a map. Taking this treasure, you leave everything else exactly as it was. Nice. Let's close the closet. And also, this is one that you probably wouldn't figure out intuitively. Feel above closet. If you run your hand along the top of the closet, aha, you touch something metallic. Grabbing it, you discover a small brass key. What could it unlock? And if you're wondering... I'm going to pause just for a sec. If you're wondering, won't Mananan notice this stuff missing? You'd think that he would. However, there's only one item in the game that Mananan will ever notice missing if you take it. There is one item in the game that you need to replace after you take it so that Mananan doesn't notice it's gone. The rest of these things, somehow he just doesn't notice that, oh, hey, my key is missing, and my map is missing, and my hand mirror, and all this other stuff. So, let's go ahead and I'm just trying to clean out his, let's see. Let's open this drawer. You bang the door repeatedly against your shins. You bang the door against your shins repeatedly. Try backing up. Is this kind of a, I seem to recall that in English grammar there's a convention where you're not supposed to, there's some place where you're not supposed to put the adverb. You could say either you repeatedly bang the drawer or you bang the drawer repeatedly. And I think one of those is considered bad form. One of those is preferable to the other, but I forget which. Okay, let's try backing up. Can I do it from here? There we go. That's nice. You find baubles and trinkets which do not interest you. Suddenly your eye falls on something that does. A vial labeled rose petal essence, which you eagerly take. Okay, rose petal essence. That sounds like a magical item, and, well, yes it is. So that's definitely, this is something that Mananan will kill us for if he finds us with it. Most of these things with stars are magical items, and Mananan will kill us if he catches us with something that we can use to work some magic. So... I always liked that mirror effect. I always thought that was cool, the way you can see Gwyddion in the mirror. I don't think there's anything under the bed. Let's quickly see. If you're under the bed, there's absolutely nothing there. Okay, nothing under the bed. All right, I think we're pretty much done in that room. Oh, let's deal with the cat. Let's go ahead and get the cat. Too far away, huh? The despicable cat slips away from your grasp with a fierce scratch to your arm. You may have to try a few times to get the cat, but you do... Okay. Nimbly you grab the nasty cat by the scruff of its neck, avoiding its needle-sharp claws. Now that you have it, what are you going to do with it? Well, I'm sorry to cat lovers everywhere, but what you need to do with this cat is get its fur. See, I mean... It might even be one thing if you had to get the cat's fur, but the game, or Gwyddion, or both, laughs about it. There's this sort of sadistic malice towards cats, which is kind of... I understand if you don't like cats. Some people don't like cats, and okay, if you don't like cats, that's fine, that's your preference. But I think it's crossing a line to be this sort of malicious towards cats. This is basically animal cruelty, but anyway, whatever. I'm not going to make a big deal out of it because it's just a game. You manage to pluck some fur before he viciously scratches and leaps from your arms. With grim satisfaction, you survey your wounds. "Stupid cat," you scoff. "Whether you know it or not, you just helped me." The detestable cat leaps from your arms, snarling and screeching. Okay. We don't have to do anything with the cat anymore. Although, I think he's in our way, actually. He's preventing me from going up the stairs. Okay, that's fine. I don't have to go up the stairs right now anyhow. I can do that later. Over here, this is Gwyddion's bedroom. This is your own pitiful bedchamber. Compared to Manannan's fine room, yours is almost a cell. The bed is hard and uncomfortable, with only a threadbare blanket and a small, flat pillow. The other furnishings are junk, but as poor as it is, it's your own haven, as the wizard never enters it. And that is true. This is our one safe haven in the game. This is the one place where you can go where Manannan will never show up. So, because that is the case, this is also where you can hide all your things. Let's see, if I just say hide all, yeah. You can just say hide all. You get on your hands and knees and quickly shove all your possessions under the bed. They'll be safe from the wizard's sharp eyes there. You get 4 points for doing so. So you can say get a specific item, like you can say get map to get just the map, or you can just say get all to retrieve everything from under the bed. There's pretty much nothing else that's useful here. If you say sleep, for example, you can sleep on bed. Yeah. I like these snoring sound effects. But that serves absolutely no purpose. There's no reason to do that. There's really no reason to do anything in that room except just to hide your stuff. That's it. So we will be going back there occasionally, but only when we need to hide something from Manannan. And okay, now the cat's not here, so let me go up these stairs. Oh, pressing numer keypad 9 doesn't quite work. Okay, what we need to do here is get this thing from off the floor. You see nothing on the dusty floor but a dead fly. Okay, let's get the fly. You pick up the dead fly and drop it into your hand. Disgustedly, you look at it. I don't want to carry around a dead fly, you think. Picking off its wings, you throw the rest away, because it's not disgusting to carry a dead fly's wings. That's not gross at all. Okay, let's look through the telescope quickly. You put your eye to the glass. It amazes you how near everything seems. You can even see squirrels climbing faraway trees. No wonder the wizard knows all activities in Ludor. And I think that's all that we do here. I don't think we ever have to come back to this room either. That's pretty much it. At this point, we've already seen pretty much all of the house. Well, we haven't seen the outside, but actually we have. We saw it in the introduction. We saw the chicken coop with all the chickens pecking around there. So I think that's pretty much it. Am I missing anything? Trying to think. There is some stuff we can get from here, but we'll worry about that later. I think it's time to go outside and take a little journey of our own. And I know that you open the front door of the house and go outside. I know that I've been going a little bit quickly, but again, there is a reason for that. Let me go ahead and very quickly do this. This is another one of those things that Sierra likes to put, or liked to put in their adventure games to confound people and make it really frustrating to move around. I don't know what it says about me that I seem to have gotten good enough at this that I can traverse this without too much difficulty. I think that might just mean that I've played too many Sierra adventures. I could also use the mouse, but I think that would be a little bit cheap because most of you folks didn't have the mouse growing up because you probably played this on the PC and not on the Apple IIgs. So I'm trying to suffer as you folks have suffered when you grew up as well. And here we are. We made it to the end of the path. That was pretty good. Okay. Uh-oh, what happened? Oh, there are 2 discs. Oh, and it switched to the other disc. Oh, speaking of technicalities about the game, I should probably want to go ahead and I don't remember how long I've been using this dark green border, but let's switch to something else. Let's switch to a dark gray. Actually, probably, yeah. Let's use a dark gray border now to symbolize the sadness of our setting, because this is a very sad game with Gwyddion, this poor lonely orphan living among the cruel wizard Manannan and his chickens and his cat and his dead fly and all that. So if we take a look at the map that we're carrying around with us, the map's faded ink is brightened, but only in those places where you have been. So this is a teleporting map, which you can use to immediately teleport to any of these 5x4, so that would be 20, any of these 20 squares. It's a little bit wasted in this game because 20 screens is honestly not that much. If this was a really huge game, then a teleporting map would be very useful. But 20 screens is just not that... It's just not big enough to really make it that useful. Although it is still useful, it's just not as useful as it could have been in a bigger game. But anyway, I'll go ahead and press Shift-8 to put the map away from now. And so it shall be. And, oh, here's a store. That's nice. Store and a tavern. We'll come back here later. But for now, let's walk around here and see what we can see here. Here's a path leading up to a mountain. It's the mountain that we just climbed down from. Oh, here's a tree. And what are these on the ground? Uh-oh. These two are certainly unsavory rogues. They look like they'd rob you blind. Okay, these guys, yeah, if they catch you... Hold on, let's see. I can probably get away. Oh, no I didn't. After recovering from a whack on the head at the hands of the bandits, you stand unsteadily. Taking stock of your holdings, you discover that all of your possessions have been stolen. So they took everything from us. Wow, our inventory is empty. We can get those things back, but you know what? Let me go ahead and... I don't feel like messing around with the bandits right now, so let me go ahead and restore my game as I did, and I'll deal with those bandits later. Right now, what I first want to do is fill in the map, which shouldn't take too long because it's a pretty small map as I observed. So let's go ahead and just walk around here and see what we can see. I love those birds. I love those little bluebirds perched on that tree and the little animation that the game gives them. I love small touches like that. I like all the little touches that go into games like this. I think they really make a huge difference. All those small things make a really big difference to me, in my opinion. All right, so let's see. Let's look at the map. How are we doing? Ook at the map. Let's look at the map. Okay, if I go one screen down from here. Okay, I think that's it. We can go left into the desert. Like King's Quest V, this game also has a desert to the west. I'm not going to go there right now because there are some hazards there which we'll want to. Actually, you know what? We have already what we need to deal with the main hazard in the desert. So actually, let's go ahead and see that now, since we're here. Actually, I've already been playing this game. This video has already gone on for 27 minutes, so why don't I go ahead and start wrapping it up by showing what's in the desert here. So here we are. It's a pretty nice desert. And if you walk around... Uh-oh. The most hideous-looking being has made its appearance. It's Medusa! Your eyes fall upon a face so hideous, so gruesome, that the horror of it is beyond description. People who look upon the face of Medusa with her hair of writhing live snakes turn instantly to stone. Suddenly your body feels cold and stiffens hard as a rock. Hard as a rock! You make a nice statue, Gwyddion. Well, so if you look at Medusa, you turn to stone. So the first thing that you have to do when you come onto a screen with Medusa in it is turn to the right. When she showed up, I was facing left, and so I was looking at her. So what you need to do is when you enter the screen, turn to the right. So let's try that. Can we save ourselves by just turning around? Okay, let's just turn around and see what happens now. Is this all you have to do? Okay, Medusa shows up again. Aha! She can't turn us to stone. Oh no! Medusa's touch is like ice. A cold chill shivers down your spine, turning to a stiffness that soon hardens your body like a rock. You are now nothing but a statue. Oh, and Medusa can apparently teleport as well. Okay, so that's the first thing you have to do, turn around, but what else can we use against Medusa? Remember, if you look at Medusa, you turn to stone. So what would you do if, or what would happen if Medusa saw herself, for example? Okay, I'm going to go ahead and restore my game again because I'm going to be really picky on time. And because I really, like I said, I mean, we only have about 15 to 20 minutes before Menanin comes back. So, all right, so Medusa's here. Now, what if I say show mirror? Oh, correct. Okay, show mirror to Medusa. Averting your eyes, you aim the wizard's hand mirror at Medusa's face. A scream pierces the air as she beholds her own hideous reflection. Then, nothing. You dare to look. Medusa has turned herself to stone. Even as a statue, she is indescribably ugly, but she won't harm us anymore. All right. And now we can roam around the desert pretty freely, which doesn't really get you very much because there's actually not much here. There is this cactus. And this is not the cactus who made Hotline Miami and Clean Asia and Mondo Medicals and all those other awesome games. It's the original kind of cactus, the kind that grows in a desert. Oh, hello, Snakey. No, the snakes don't bite you. At least I don't think so. Experienced traveler is better than to mess with snakes. I don't think that these snakes bite you. I think they're just for show. Except for this one. Here's a snake skin. You retrieve the dried snake skin from the hot desert sand. It is delicate and could easily crumble. All right. I think, yeah, we're back here. So there are just these 4 desert screens, and they loop from north to south. So that's it. So we're done with the desert, I think. And you can walk left further into the desert, but there's absolutely no reason to do so because then you just get this sort of generic-looking desert screen, which just goes on forever. The desert does essentially, in this game, the desert does go on forever. Theoretically, it is interesting how that big sand dune in the background shifts slightly to the right every time we go a screen to the left. So in theory, you could eventually get somewhere if you had some source of water, but actually, I don't think we have any source of water in this game. You know, it's an interesting point now that I think about it. There is an ocean on the east side of the map, but that's obviously an ocean. Oh, there is a river. I guess you could get water from the river, but I don't think it will sustain you all the way through the desert. Yeah, you see buzzards circling high above you. Well, you know what that means. Here's some old and interesting bones. All of the cactus, shouldn't that be cacti? You'd wind up with a handful of thorns. Okay, let's kiss the cactus. No. Can we get this cactus? It's of no use. All right. Yeah, this is sort of enticing. I think this is one of those things which is meant to entice you into thinking that you can get somewhere if you go far enough, but actually, you really can't. There really isn't anything here. It really is just sort of a red herring. You just, yeah, there's somebody else's skeleton, and if you walk up or down, it just, yeah, I think the screens are randomly generated because when I came back here, that guy's skeleton was gone. So I think it's just a sequence of random screens that just goes on until finally you die. How long does it take for him to die? He's got pretty good. Usually these kinds of things only let you walk a few screens before you die. I think even in King's Quest V, you could go something like, I think it was 8 screens, if I remember correctly, in the desert before you died. How many have we walked by now? We've already walked for something like, I don't know, I haven't been keeping count. You're getting very hot and tired. You better find your way out of this desert soon. I just want to show what happens when Gwyddion dies. Gosh. I guess a young boy of 17 doesn't need to drink much water. When I was a young boy, set in all of my young boy ways, didn't need no water, I could go walking for days. Wow. I'm really amazed that they actually let you do this because I think most gamers who played this game at this point would expect that there must be something here. Surely they wouldn't let you walk this far. Alright, he finally died. You can't take the relentless sun anymore and collapse from heat stroke. Miserably you die in this dreadful desert. Can I get the death music? Hello? Thank you. Alright, I think that's enough for now. So, let's see, can I look at my inventory? Oh, yes, I can. Okay. Wow, we've already got a lot of inventory items. In just one video, we collected a huge list of inventory items, and about half of these have the star on them, which indicates that they are magical, and Medusa will kill us for them. So we did pretty well. This was a pretty good start. In the next video, of course, we'll continue on, and we'll maybe have a chance to see what we do with some of these magic items. But for now, I will say thank you as always for watching, everyone, and I look forward to more exciting adventures with King's Quest III to Err as Human. Have a great day, everyone, and take care of yourselves. Bye-bye for now.